setting traps yet. Today is the start of my trapping season. Gonna put in some mink, muskrat, and raccoon sets.
So what are you doing there?
I'm just putting my wire onto my swivel here. A lot of guys run drowning rigs for muskrats. I like using the 1.5s. They're heavy enough to where you catch a muskrat in this, when he goes out into the water, that trap's heavy enough to drown him. He's not coming back up off the bottom with that trap. Same way with the mink. I like running the footholds because you are able to not just target one specific animal. The foothold will take whatever comes by. I've caught beaver in a 1.5 before. As long as they get their front foot in there, a beaver, you got him. I mean, he's not going to pull out of it. But I like the 1.5s. It's like my go-to trap. I have several dozen. They're just an all-around good trap. You want your pan set flush. Make sure the trap fire is okay. And all I'm doing today is, obviously the water's up because we've been getting a fucking pile of rain, which I don't like. Kind of making trapping a little difficult. But I'm just looking for spots where they're coming and they're digging to feed. This creek I trap every year. I've been trapping it for I don't even know how many years now. But right here is one of them spots that I'm talking about. If you look up under that bank, I don't know if you can really see, but there's all kinds of muskrat tracks. You can see like little dugouts, all these undercut banks. A lot of guys will run bottom edge sets, in which I do run quite a few bottom edge sets. But when you're running a 110 or 120, whatever you're running for your muskrats, if a coon comes through here, you're not going to catch it, because you have that bottom edge set tucked up underneath there, in which I gang set a lot. A lot of guys don't like doing that. I don't mind it. I'll put 2 or 3 traps in this little section, and I've had days that I come here and have something in every trap right in a row. 9 out of 10 there'd be a couple of muskrats and a coon. But either way, the more fur you put up, the more money you're gonna make. So that's why I do what I do. I like the gang set. Oh, look at that. I didn't even realize, but here I am talking to you guys about this. And I'll show you what muskrat shit looks like. If you look at it, I'm tying off to this log here. Right there's my wire. Right below it, that's muskrat shit. Last year I took like 70 rats in 2 weeks out of this specific spot. And I figured that was enough rats out of here. Obviously I didn't hurt the population because there's a pile back in here again this year. So
Now that trap you're going to start at the beginning of the hole, where its entrance and exit is.
And there we go. That's the first trap of the season we have in the ground.
Yeah, I'll show you where you set it.
I'll kneel down here so you guys can see, but it's kind of hard. The water's still cloudy. But my trap is tucked up underneath this cut back here, hollowed out bank, whatever you want to call it. But these are the spots that you guys want to key in on. Another prime example is you see this. If you look under here, you see how that's tunneled out like that? Every mink and muskrat that comes down this creek will come through here. As you see, look, bam, that's a top-notch set right there, buddy. Nice undercut bank. I put my foot way up in there and I could feel their trails. But this creek produces a lot of fur year after year for me. And as you can see, I mean right there, you see how this tree comes out over? There's a big root system. I'll take you over there and show you real quick. I don't fall on my face. And we got deer trails they cross, but deer are not the only things that will use these trails. As you see how that's slick? And look, prime example. Guess what that hole belongs to? That's your good old stinky minky hole. So legally I cannot set this. You cannot set den entrances, houses. So I mean, if I put a trap at the bottom in the water, there's nothing. That's totally legal. Oh, look, right that's a fresh mink hole. I don't know if you can see it through these briars, but I'll get up here and be able to see a little better. Right there, you see the fresh earth moved. That was dug out recently. Could be muskrats, but I'm guessing it's going to be mink. They will make another hole. Here's another prime example. This is fucking perfect. But these are all prime examples of what you're looking for if you want to catch fur. I mean, you find spots like this where these animals are narrowed down, you will have success. Trap placement is a big key, but if you got spots like this, you're gonna catch fur as long as you have traps there. I mean, you're gonna have days that you're gonna come, you're gonna have a bunch of animals. You'll have days that you come and you ain't got a damn thing. Part of trapping. But it's all in how many sets you have and sign. You gotta set on sign. If there ain't no sign, there ain't no animals. It's that simple. Like this right here, it's a perfect little crossover. I've had people were in here duck hunting, that's why I haven't set traps yet. That's why today's my first day in. But got a lot of work to get done in a short period of time. So I gotta quit running my mouth and get to setting traps. Right here's a little baby trout. Hey, here's a perfect rat spot. I'm gonna get these traps going, and hopefully we'll be able to show you guys some catches. But these are the creeks you want. Not deep, not real fast moving. They hold a lot of rats. Catch a lot of coons every year off here too. But with the way the water is right now, I'm not seeing the amount of coon sign that I would like. Seen a lot of rat sign, some beaver sign, but we'll get traps pounded in and see what we do.
You're gonna go through and he's gonna do the same setup as he did on the first one.
I use a heavy enough trap so I don't have to run a slider to make the muskrat go out and drown. Like I said, this trap's plenty heavy enough that once that rat's stuck in there, he goes in the water, he's done. He's not coming back up off the bottom. 1.5, this is a number 1. I mean, you can see the size difference. This will not drown them. This will. This you run, as you see, the swivel here. This swivel, there's a hole right here where I attach my wire. Now you can use these as drown deers. You run them to where it's got to slide down, obviously. Don't do it backwards. I've been there, done that. But you make it so that that chain runs down. When that animal goes to come back up, it kinks. And it will not allow that animal to come back to the surface. That's in there.
Now, you place the stick in there to secure the trap and have
Yes.
that wire be able to attach to something.
If it's not, it's no use. You don't wire your trap off and stake it off. There's no point, because then the animal is just gonna take your trap and be gone. Now, I highly doubt if I should have played with these straps a little bit after I dyed them.
The DJ went to the other side to set some more traps. Same exact way that he did over here. And you can tell, there's Beaver back here. And we will be trapping Beaver in the future. And making Beaver burgers and putting them in the freezer. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to Nature's Wild Playground. It is done from a beaver. Now, get down here closer to the water so you can see it. Venture up here for the heck of it, see what we can find. Yeah, there's a shotgun shell back here. There's another entrance. A lot of deer shining through here too. All the way down and through.
Show you, there's somebody else that was in here trapping these beavers out of here, which ain't no skin off my ass. Beavers ain't paying much. But here was where they had their set. Obviously that's a 330 set. So I don't know if we'll catch any beavers out of here, which we probably will, because we're trapping next to a main river, and you guys know as well as I do, you can't catch all the beaver out of a main river. Right here's a beaver track though, right there. So that tells me still some beavers in here. Right here's their food lodge. As you see, this was one of my top producing spots last year, and as you see, they got corn stalks in there, which there's a cornfield on the opposite side of the main river. But this was one of my hot spots last year. I caught a lot of muskrats and a few big coon out of this spot right here. But now these beavers done cut this channel all the way up through there. And as you see, they're just wreaking havoc. They're fucking up my muskrat trapping. I don't like it. So hopefully, whoever this guy was, he took quite a few out of here. Alright guys, I'm still on the same creek. There's a lot of tall grass and whatnot through here. There's this little tiny trickle of water coming up through here. And look at what we found here. You know what that is? That's either from muskrats or a mink. There's a tunnel that goes right up through there. And I'm willing to bet that that's going to be a mink. So, I only brought footholds with me today, which was a dumb mistake. But, I'll get back in here with some kill traps. Alright guys, I was telling you about these bottom edge sets. Like I said, you don't always have to run kill traps on these. And this is the reason why I say that. See the rat? See his feet? See the tail? I just set these traps yesterday afternoon. Look at that. There's first rat of the season. There's the 1.5. That's a perfect catch.
So we checked 4 traps and we got 1 water rat.
I got 5 rat sets out yesterday, connected with 1. I'm only running footholds at the moment. I'm gonna put some bottom edge sets on this creek, and I will show you what I use for a bottom edge set. I make them myself. You don't have sticks sticking up, so if somebody comes along, they're not gonna find your traps. They're just flock after flock of Canadian geese coming to land on the cornfield.
He's attaching his trap
to my bottom edge set. Ouch. You're probably gonna wonder why I leave an excess piece of wire off my chain. That's due to if they let water out of the reservoir above where I'm trapping, it makes this river rise. And then, so if I just have this tucked up underneath the bank and the water rises, I'm not going to be able to check this trap. I ran into problems with this the first year I used this system. First month I put this system out, we got a shit ton of rain, and for 3 weeks I could not get to some of my traps. And then when I was finally able to get to my traps, I had animals that were no good, and it really sucks. Yeah, I don't like that. So always run an extra piece of wire so you can wire off to the bank, so you'll be able to find your wire and pull your traps if the water comes up. These are not 110s, these are 150s. As you see, they're bigger than a 110.
What's your brick do?
This is the bottom edge set that holds your trap. As you see, there's a clip that I clip that trap onto. I build them myself. I just don't see paying the price that they want you to pay for a conibear stand when you go to the hardware store and buy the same thing. You just got to tweak it a little bit. But yeah, so this is my bottom edge set. I see there's guys that are making these, selling them commercially out of steel plate. Why? It's cheaper to do it yourself. I mean, this thing cost me 5 cents to make. Really. I mean, it's 5 cents versus $5. I'll take 5 cents. I got my trap tucked up under here. I'm just gonna put a couple sticks. To fence them off a little bit. You don't want to put too much stuff into something where the animals are already frequenting, because then they'll catch on to it. They're not stupid. They've been here a million times. So when you go changing too much stuff, they realize it. You'll make them trap smart. Muskrats, you really can't make them trap smart. They're pretty dumb. I mean, they will go around your traps, don't get me wrong. If you got a hot spot and you keep catching rats out of the same trap, sooner or later the rats are going to catch on to it and they'll start traveling a different way. They'll go around your set. But this one here, I think, I don't know too much maybe about a muskrat out of here. I'm thinking more like, looks like a good mink spot to me. An old mink likes to come down through here. You'll follow this all the way down. He'll follow this creek bank. When he comes to spots like this, he's gonna dodge and weave in every nook and cranny that he finds until he comes to this one. Once he comes here, it's kind of hard to see my trap, but it's right there. He goes to go in there to look. He's stuck like Chuck. So, but yeah, show you guys a coon trail I just found. I gotta get some traps put on that. This thing is beat down. Look at this. Goes right through there. It's a nice coon trail. Spot I trapped last year. Nice beaver track coming up out of here, right here. That's a good one. Right there, that's a front foot. Right there, that's a back foot. I mean, he ain't a giant, but he ain't no baby. I'll show you. Right here is their house. They had a giant dam in here last year. I took 7 beavers out of here, and I did not take them all. So I'm gonna do just your basic. This is a crossover set. They're crossing from pond to pond. I'm just gonna drive a 330 in here. Forgot my hammer, so I gotta use a splitting wedge. But put you guys up here so you can see me. So here's a trail that these beavers got dug in. Take you a 330. These traps are no joke. You do not want to get caught in one of these. Okay, now another thing you guys are probably wondering, why my trigger is like this. Because up here in New York, we have to have that if we are trapping the southern tier because mink and muskrat is not open. So we have to pinch our triggers together like that so that we don't have accidental catches. It's just our law. Not everybody's is the same. but that, and we have to be 15 feet from a hut or their dam. All I'm doing is just digging out a spot for my spring to get in there so it sits nice and low. And guys, beavers are extremely tough animals. Unless you lock them up in a 330, then they're not so tough. But and that's that. A lot of people will run a dive log or whatever. I don't. That beaver's coming up through here. He's gonna hit that trap. He'll be waiting for us there in the morning.
And we ended up with a possum.
Yeah, that happens. We got him in a bridger, 1 3/4. I just sat here because I see this nice heavy run coming through here along this creek, river, whatever you want to call it. But figured there'd be some coons moving along here. Well, I'm sure there are coons, but I just happened to catch the possum before the coon came through. But we'll get this remade